What's up, everybody? Noah Hiles from the Post-Gazette coming to you from Miami. Pre-game on Friday, game number 2 for the Pirates. We have a big news update to deliver. Nick Gonzales, Pirates starting second baseman, heading to the injured list, 10-day injured list, with what Derek Shelton described as a non-displaced fracture of the left ankle. Now, if you watch Thursday afternoon on opening day, Nick Gonzales in his third at bat hit a home run to left field. As he was rounding the bases, he began to hobble. By the time he was reaching home plate, he could barely put any weight at all on his left leg. He was removed that following frame, I should say. The home run occurred in the top of the 6th inning. By the bottom of the 6th, he was removed from the game. Adam Frazier replaced him at second base, and we didn't see him at all in postgame. The team announced this today during batting practice before the game. Gonzalez already on his way back to Pittsburgh. He will see a foot specialist, and we'll have more updates. But he's heading to the 10-day injured list, just 3 at-bats into his 2025 campaign after a really strong showing in 2024, coming into this year as the everyday second baseman, a staple in the middle third of the order for this team. The Pirates lose Nick Gonzales for what could be extended time. Again, the injury described by Derek Shelton as a non-displaced fracture of the left ankle. So first, let's just talk about Nick Gonzalez's departure and what this means for the team before we talk about the corresponding move, which is Enmanuel Valdez. What is this team without Nick Gonzales? Well, it's without one of its best run producers. This is a guy who I think is one of the more aggressive hitters in the lineup. He's a first pitch hunter, something that's a lot different than a lot of the other guys that we see traditionally play 1 through 9, who are a little bit more passive at the plate. He's a nice mix to the group here. Someone who provided a spark to this offense when he was promoted to the major leagues last year in early May, and a guy who I think added a little bit of pop to his game at the plate this year, just through adjustments he made in the swing. We saw it on opening day. He hit the first and so far only home run of the regular season for the Pirates. And this is a player they're going to miss defensively too. You look at the infield already being a little thin because at first base, their everyday guy is unavailable right now. Spencer Horwitz started the year on the 10-day IL as he's recovering from a right wrist surgery. And then over on the other corner, Brian Hayes is on a limited workload simply because of the recurring back issues. Shelton talked about how they're continuing to monitor his work volume. So we're going to see a lot of guys playing in a lot of different spots. Endy Rodriguez already starting at first base again for the 2nd game in a row. Very interesting decision there. Already playing more games in the regular season at first base than we saw him play all of this last spring. Jared Triolo, how does he fit into this? Will he see more time at second base? He's going to be needed at third. He's definitely going to be needed at first base. And I think that the miss they're going to have with Gonzalez on the shelf defensively, in addition to his offense, which is obviously what they're going to miss him most with, but his inability to be an everyday staple at second base hurts this team as well. It forces Adam Frazier to step up, a guy who didn't play a ton of games last year and did not play well in the games that he saw action in. Didn't have a great spring either. He's probably going to be the everyday second baseman now. And another utility guy comes up in Valdez, another left-handed bat, which is really interesting. Shelton talked about the bat as part of the reason they chose Valdez to be Gonzalez's replacement on the roster. This is a guy who has a lot of pop, hit 20-plus home runs in the minor leagues, a split time between AA and AAA in 2022. And he has a major league experience, has played 125 big league games so far, all of those coming with the Boston Red Sox, his former team. The Pirates acquired Valdez last year in late December in exchange for a pitching prospect. I believe his name was Joe Walensky, I want to say. I apologize if I didn't get that completely right. But it was I believe, a 17th round pick. From last year's draft is what they got him for. So not a heavy price. But this was, at one point in time, a decent prospect in the Astros organization. Showed some notable pop as a prospect with the Boston Red Sox. The Pirates bring him in for his bat. Derek Shelton talked to us this spring about how he really doesn't have a position right now. Throughout spring, we saw him spend time at second base, at third base, even a little bit at first base. And I think we see him play a little bit of all 3 of those positions. He's also played some corner outfield, also played some shortstop, which they're going to need help at as well, because Nick Gonzales was the backup shortstop on this team. So maybe Valdez assumes that role, or that goes to Triolo. But let's talk more about the left-handed bat here before we wrap this recap up, or this news update up, I should say. Valdez, again, left-handed hitter. There's a lot of them on this team, especially on this bench now. Adam Frazier is a left-handed bat. So is Valdez. Those are your infield left-handed hitters. In the outfield, you have three: Bay, Sawinski, and Cruz. Cruz is an everyday player, but so the other two are bench bats, Sawinski and Bay. So those are two of your reserve bats. Assuming Valdez doesn't start every day, your third reserve bench bat is now a left-handed hitter. And if it's Triolo off the bench, then you have one righty. If Triolo starts at first, it's Endy Rodriguez off the bench. And that's a switch hitter, a guy who is much better from the left side of the plate. Now, granted, they can make other moves too. I think maybe other guys will get called up in the near future, who knows. But as it stands right now, a lot of lefties, both in the bullpen, in the starting rotation, especially now in the lineup for this team. Really interesting that Nick York didn't get the promotion here, in my opinion, over Valdez. I actually liked how Valdez looked this spring, especially with his patience at the plate. Drew 9 walks, only struck out 5 times in 14 Grapefruit League games. But Nick York, I think, would have been a better fit here. He's a guy who can play second base. He can play third base. He can play the corner outfield spots as well. I know he can't play shortstop, but I don't think we'll see Valdez there a ton either. And he's a right-handed bat. You lose a right-handed bat with Gonzalez. You would get one right back with Nick York. Really surprised they didn't get him up here, but Shelton said they wanted him to get regular at-bats. They wanted him to get his feet wet in AAA. So that is where the Pirates' number 5 prospect per MLB pipeline will start the season, as opposed to the major leagues just one game into this 2025 campaign. My name is Noah Hiles. You can check out all of my work at post-gazette.com. Follow all of the Post-Gazette social media platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, and of course on X and Facebook as well. And subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, at PG Pirates. We'll have you covered for the rest of the regular season. We're only one day in, plenty to talk about already. We got a lot more to come.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.